Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Nooch in the building, baby. Happy Friday. We got a good weekend of sports. A lot of my friends are finishing work or home already or starting the weekend, so I think it's a good common time to start. I want to wait for a couple guys to get in here. Neighborhood picks. Sunday we got the live streams is the NFL. We do all the spreads, all everything fantasy. But we're getting a beat on it today, Friday. I'm probably gonna go live every Friday about this time. We're gonna get a little head start on the NFL games. Who's favored? Who's maybe the underdog special? What guys we're gonna start looking at? Because Sunday morning everybody's running around. People come in at different times, so we should get it going a little bit. The conversation at least once during the week before. Now we're going into week two. Wacky week last week. I've never seen so many guys ready to fucking jump ship. I've never in my life. I have more friends ready to trade away guys that are like stars. Guys, it's week one. It was week one. Take it easy. Somebody, I'm not gonna name names. Somebody called me. He showed me his other league. It was a friend that's in a league that I'm in, but you know how everybody you know is in another league they have that you don't know about. My buddy sends me a screenshot of somebody trying to trade Najee Harris and St. Brown for Xavier Worthy and Kenneth Walker. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, it's not okay. I wanted to get it up. Yeah, there's people trading St. Brown and Najee Harris right now for Worthy and Kenneth Walker. That's crazy. I don't think you could panic on guys. Matter of fact, like we're gonna go over tonight's board, little bit of college, and I want to go over all the NFL matchups. I'm trying to find out who's really the upset special this week. Last week, I don't know. Was there the only okay? Bengals was the surprise. New England, that was the biggest upset by far. I don't see New England beating Seattle this week. What's New England going to win every game? Like I think now we could take off last week what we saw. There's a lot of teams. I read the next gen. There's a lot of teams, quarterbacks that completed less than 5 yards per air completion. Um, a couple guys were in like disgraceful low numbers last week. Kyler Murray. I got him in fantasy with fucking Marvin Harrison. I'm nervous right now. Kyler Murray, 2 yards per air completion last week. 2 yards per air completion. That's got to change. He's got to get downfield. I'm expecting things to change. That's what happens. It's the beginning of the season. Got teams are rusty. There was 9 quarterbacks or 10 quarterbacks in the league under 4.9 air yards per completion. Caleb Williams was the worst. He was 1.5 yards per air completion. Caleb, you got Keenan Allen. Like I don't know. Here's the thing. When I was a kid, the difference that I see, the screen game now and the concept to get the ball in space has overtaken everything now. Like when I was a kid, everything was downfield or run. Downfield, run, an occasional screen. But then somewhere along the line in the early 2000s, you started seeing a lot of like bubble jet screens. Like here, like hike, here you go, like a 3 air yard pass to the receiver who like is in trips formation already, catches it and gets like two blockers. It's basically a running back that's out wide. You give guy the quick screen, he catches the pass like Debo Samuel. He runs over 14 guys, and you just got a 25-yard completion on the stats. So that's what started happening in like 2000. Like in the early 2000s, we started seeing forward-thinking offensive coordinators getting the bubble screens that get the guy in space. Rodgers became famous with that, getting the ball to Devontae Adams, getting the ball in space. But the pendulum it never stays balanced. Now, week one, we saw half the league only have that shit. Hey, stupid. You got to throw downfield. Like there was a lot of teams not ready yet. Not like way, but guys don't practice anymore. 25 years ago, guys were practicing full pads, getting hit. In the pros, it was. I think the guys are way behind. I remember last year, week 1, saying, "Is this a sloppy week or what?" The sloppy play, like we have to expect way more passing. The only guy that threw over 300 in week 1 just got knocked out for the season, Tua. Like so, Joe Burrow worrying me. Who's worried about Joe Burrow? Me. He's flexing his wrist. He's flexing his wrist so much on the sideline. The camera's zooming in on him now. He's doing like alphabets and shit. They're like, Joe, what are you doing? They asked him in the post game. He's like, oh no, I do it all the time to keep mobility. Oh, real? Whoa! I'll tell you what. Who's listening? Does anybody here have to flex their wrist for mobility? I don't know. Joe Burrow's got a bad wrist, maybe. T. Higgins, phantom fucking hamstring injury, allegedly not going on the field. He didn't get the contract. I heard T. Higgins is disgruntled. You might see the Bengals not get going. No fucking running back. Excuse my language. Joe Mixon, leading running back in the NFL. Texans. Hey, survivor pick this week. Texans over the Bears. Is that light flickering or am I crazy? No, it's not. Let me see. Oh, I like that. It's more intimate. I got one thing I'm looking at. First of all, I want to give you a couple more general theories. More people are panicking about their lineups, and rightfully so. Let's go down the list of a couple guys before we get into the games. A couple guys that you might want to worry about. First of all, Paul Riz. What a cocky fucking guy. Hey, Paul, you're so good at bouncing bullshit off the walls to see if it sticks. I'm not even listening to you. Telling me Cooper is a scrub, but you're not worried about Neighbors. Oh, really? Oh, Daniel Jones is fucking Joe Montana? Like, they both stunk last week. Watson and Jones. Okay? It wasn't just Watson. I tried to trade. I'm gonna lay it out. I tried to trade Paul Riz. I have Najee Harris. He's got ATN. I have Bigsby. He's got Warren. So I tried to trade him Amari Cooper and Harris for ATN and Neighbors, but he didn't want to. He said Neighbors is way better and ATN is way better. But you know what? I took a shot. But I do like ATN a little better than Najee. But I don't know. I don't know if Malik Neighbors is really going to outperform Cooper, but I think he's got a higher ceiling. The ceiling on Malik Neighbors is fun. That's why I tried to get him off Paul. I do, and I'm a Giants fan. But I thought that was a fair trade. He hit me with like this whole shit. Like, yeah, I would cut those guys. My guys are starting. Like, bro, wait, Najee for ATN. ATN, Mr. 3.5 yards a carry his whole life. Najee, Mr. 3.5 yards a carry. Who fumbled last week? ATN. Who's coming on strong? Bigsby. Okay, Paul, take it easy with the running back. That's a trade-off. Najee Harris, fantasy-wise, and ATN, not much difference. Najee Harris got 20 carries last week. How you doing? And Cooper and Neighbors. Fucking Amari Cooper had 75 catches for like 1,200 yards last year, 1,300 yards. He led the league out of all receivers that had more than 75 catches and yards per catch. He had like 18 yards a catch, Cooper. So, and unless Neighbors goes over like 18 yards a catch, I got to see it. I got to see it first. We know he's fast, though. We know he's fast. I hope he's good, but I need to see. You know what? The Giants can't stink that bad, right? Oh yeah. Definitely. I'm gonna wait till Oscar comes in. I want to make sure a couple people get in here. Oh my God, I can't believe that. So you heard about the Paul Riz? You heard about the Paul Riz? I offered him Najee and Cooper for Neighbors and ATN. He said, "Oh, what are you kidding me? Oh, what are you kidding me, Nooch? Those guys I wouldn't even make my team. I got starters." Where's Patty? I wonder if that guy traded St. Brown. Talk about jumping off the ledge. That's the champion. That's the heavyweight champion belt ever. Somebody wanting to trade St. Brown after 1 week. That's the record for me. To me, that's the record. That's like Nate the Great's parlay. The odds plus 32,000. Wait, was it that? Plus 32 was the record because you got to boost it. We can't count the boost. Oh, T, I can't even believe. I don't even know if anybody's going to believe us with that. Here's what I'm looking at too. Also, what do you do? What do you do with a guy like Cooper? What do you do if you have an Amari Cooper in your flex right now, like I do, but you have a Lad McConkey on the bench? Or let me tell you my team right now. Like, okay, what I got the guy for the Rams that had a big game last week. Would anybody start him over Amari Cooper? No way, right? What am I crazy? Like, that's what I want to know. Am I out of my mind? Is this the Nooch League? Oh, no. This is the JFFL. T. Rich is not going to give me advice with this. All right, I got Amari Cooper in my flex, 12.5. And then this guy, Tyler Johnson, we know he's going to get opportunities, but I don't trust that shit. Cooper Kupp's going to get 100 catches. We're not messing with anybody. Oh, man. Somebody just went on the thing today. They were like, no way. There's still people around here that didn't even know. How did you know? Can I say it now that we went? Am I allowed to say it now? T. Rich calls me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's like, hey, Nooch. He's like, look at this. He shows me. He tells me that his boy told him Conor McGregor was going to be over at the River Rock. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Sure enough, Conor McGregor was at the River Rock, but not only was at the River Rock, he's like pouring T. Rich shots. Like fucking, like he was such a cool guy, right? Like you could not like him. I felt like I knew him for a long time. Oh man, Conor McGregor at River Rock was probably the most random, biggest thing that I've been involved with in ever, as far as the height of a celebrity and random. But I've had a couple great ones in my life. I met Kobe in college in Ramapo. Spent like a week with him every day and my team. But I was a freshman on the team, so I wasn't like always by him. But I was there. And then I knew a couple fighters, Arturo Gotti. I knew him. I met Joe Frazier for like 10 hours at a house party. But Conor McGregor at the River Rock, that is up top. That is up top. And T. Rich, he gave you a speech. He gave you a personal speech right for the phone. A fucking VIP speech. Check his fucking Instagram. Oh, the direct speech for T. Rich. Oh, man. You know what? I couldn't get over how thick McGregor was. He was thick. McGregor fought at 145 pounds 8 years ago. I would have to say I'm 180, 179. I gotta give him 185. You might say bigger because he was wearing a tight fucking jacket, and he was jacked. But he's probably about 185 pounds because he's only 5'9". Yeah, he was thick. He's in shape right now, but in that sport, you need cardio, man. You need cardio. I'm segueing into the UFC too because we got Omalley. In that sport, you need cardio. What I'm worried about with McGregor is he looks strong. He looks strong. I think there's a pipeline for McGregor to get back into the winning column in the UFC, and for all of our us fans, to enjoy it. I think we scrap Chandler, but he is a little guy. McGregor used to do good against guys when he was the weight bully at featherweight. We need a little guy because McGregor's got those fucking long arms. We need a nice little guy for the pull two. Come here, little guy. We need Chandler because that's going to be a dub. But there's been late news on Masvidal coming back, and tell you what, that's a popular guy. That's Street Jesus. The Kimbo videos from 2000, And then he knocked out Till. Then he got popular. Here's the catch, though. He fucking stinks lately. Like, he's been losing it, been fighting shittier. He knocked out Till. He had a good fight against Nate. Nate was half brain dead, and he didn't have time to come back because he was cut. But we know Nate is a fucking zombie. If that fight went 4-5, Nate's going to keep coming. But Masvidal whooped his ass. Got to give it to him. But Masvidal got his whole shit went down. Gilbert Burns wiped him out in the last fight before he retired, right? Well, what do we got? Hey, how you doing, Chris? I'm gonna get back to that UFC. Would you accept Cortland Sutton for Zamir White? Oh, I like Cortland Sutton. You know what, Chris? I like Cortland Sutton. Week 1 is early. Bo Nix is young. Peyton, they're getting used to their shit. A team has to grow a little bit. Cortland Sutton's the number 1, and I expect Nix to have good days. I would take a shot on Sutton. Where the fuck is Oakland going? Oakland. The Raiders. Where are the Raiders going? Where's he running? What end zone? You know, they're gonna barely get to the end zone. You know, and Madison's pretty good too. You don't know. Take a shot on the Sutton's the one. So if you have other running backs that you don't mind starting, take Sutton. You know, does that help you a little bit with the logic? I hope. Hey, hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button and give it a share. And I want to get these subs to 1,000. I'm at like around 850, and I checked my shit the other day. I'm way over on hours, and I'm coming up on the shit to be monetized. So if we could do a push, if you hit that like, it shares the algorithms, and it goes in the right direction. But yeah, I would take a shot on Sutton. Now, as far as UFC, we got good fights tomorrow night. But we got boxing too. Canelo's fighting. Try to make money on some fights. First of all, McGregor's got to fight the little guy, and then he's going to fight Masvidal, I heard. If Masvidal comes back, he's about 39 or 40, and he's lost it. But he's a character, like in WWE. Perfect for McGregor. If McGregor can't beat Masvidal, he's not going to beat anybody. Because Masvidal is like the most washed up out of the popular good guys. Covington looks washed up too. And I don't really see Colby Covington wrestling anymore. I could see McGregor fighting Covington. McGregor, we were with McGregor. Was it yesterday or the day before? We were hanging with Conor McGregor. He's definitely big, and he ain't fucking making 155. He was thick. That fucking HGH that they gave him when he broke his leg, that did something. He's a thicker fucking guy. I think he might be a little thicker than me. I'm about 180, but I'm an inch taller than him. The motherfucker was thick. He ain't making 155 anymore. He's not making 155. He's got to fight 170. And they got to check out those drugs that those fucking the Islam camp is on. Bilal Muhammad, his fucking head is enormous. He was more ripped than like the most ripped dude I've ever seen in my life. And Islam, more ripped than ever. What, Islam wasn't always in shape? Every fight in the last 10 years? Why is he 100 times more ripped now? That's that EPO shit. They got to crack down. That's what happens when you have the whole world in one fucking one company sport. How are they going to catch the whole world with these scientists and shit? Don't you see the Khabib Islam Muhammad camp? It's ridiculous. What do we got, Chris? I'm a multitasker. Don't worry. My running backs are Henry, White, Charbonnet, Spears, Chandler. And okay. Well, Charbonnet, he's always there with Kenneth Walker. Henry is good, very good, and Spears is good. But you got to be careful. I don't want to tell you to trade away White because he's the number one. But tomorrow, listen. You know how I feel about weight bullying in the UFC. You know how I feel about regular sized humans like me fighting midgets. Let's call it what it is. Sean O'Malley is about 6 foot. I don't want to see too many more midgets. He's fighting Marab. What's his name? Davashali. The fucking guy jumped on ice on his head. He jumped into a frozen pond thinking he was going to go under the water. He's fucking dumb. He's very short. That's a division. Sean O'Malley is about 5'11", 6 foot. He fights in the 135-pound division. That's too light, man. Time to bump up, Sean, after this. So he's fighting a 135-pound man, Marab. Marab's this big. He's like a little weeble wobble. And O'Malley's an assassin. O'Malley got his ass whooped almost a couple times. Didn't do good when he was on the floor. I mean, I've seen him have a couple hard moments when guys had him on the ground, but he was hurt one time. But here, listen, if Marab stands up with O'Malley, O'Malley's too long. He's got the timing. O'Malley should snipe him. He should snipe that little person into Munchkin land. Now, here's what I'm getting at, guys. We're trying to win on a couple weekend bets. Why is O'Malley and Marab like almost a toss-up with the odds? That's ridiculous. I thought he would be a heavy favorite. Both. Basketball too, Mel. I'm a fucking multitasker. People say I'm ADD. I call it multitasker. I got 7 subjects. We're doing NFL. We're gonna do the best spreads because I'm home for the day. Got a couple workouts in, did my thing. We're gonna do the spreads. We want to go over guys. We want to do UFC. There's a big UFC tomorrow. UFC Noches in the Spear. It's all Mexicans theme, but then at the main event, it's O'Malley and Marab. So I don't get that, but whatever. But Canelo is fighting too. So I'm gonna bet Canelo. He's fighting Berlanga, the Puerto Rican kid from New York. Berlanga knocked out his first 16 opponents to start his career. Berlanga's undefeated, and he's a big guy. He's a 168-pounder, I think. Canelo was a little guy. They said he had steroids in his chicken or something, and now he's all of a sudden got to fight heavier. Remember, he tested positive. He's like, oh, it was in the meat. Like, Canelo got bigger, but now he's fighting heavier. So Canelo's fighting O'Malley. So here, who do we like on the UFC card? And then we're going right to football. I want to know who we like, T-Rich. Give me the 3 right now. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to type in the parlay so I can see what we can possibly make off a baseline here. Where's the UFC? O'Malley. First of all, Sean O'Malley, I told you, fighting a midget. He's minus 134. That's low. That's low, guys. Who the fuck is gonna watch tomorrow and root for Marab? Anybody? So we know we're betting O'Malley, right? Let me see, Sebastian. I'll always answer a football question and go back and forth. So don't worry, guys. And I'll get to you too in a second, Tyler. Would you trade Purdy, Jettas, and Dobbins for Mahomes, Kamara? Oh, look at you guys. You guys are fucking like Wild West. Sebastian, look at that league. Oh, shit. Purdy, Jettas, and Dobbins. Man, I don't know if I could trade Jefferson. Oh, for Mahomes, Kamara, and Godwin. Nah. You know what? Keep Jefferson because Jefferson is more valuable, I think, than Kamara. Jefferson is a bigger piece than Kamara. And Mahomes is the best quarterback on earth, like in real life. But sometimes in fantasy, you get ugly games from the great players, and a fucking scrub gets the same amount of points. So I would stay with Jefferson. That's probably the strongest piece for the knockout on any given week. You know what I'm saying? Kamara catches a lot of balls too, but I wouldn't trade. And Purdy's fucking accurate. You know what? He played the best game I ever saw the other night. Like when I checked his fantasy stats, I didn't realize he didn't do anything in fantasy. I was watching the football game. He's such a fucking good quarterback that I was like, man, he's good. Like he was making the reads at the right time, throwing beautiful balls. They just ran that guy so much, and he kept making so many yards, and that's how the game went. So if it was a Sunday where he was playing with everybody else, you think he didn't do much. He fucking played great. So you hold on to Purdy too. You got a good quarterback and the best receiver in the league. Hold them. Anytime. T-Rich, I'm gonna type in those 3 real quick. Oh, okay. So, well, listen, T-Rich, here's my problem. When 2 fighters fight, styles make fights. If this girl beat Shevchenko once, beat her again, kind of, the judges call it a draw. She's not going to beat her tomorrow. They're fighting for the third time. Shevchenko, that girl fought her 10 fucking rounds, and Shevchenko didn't get the best of her yet. That's 50 minutes. I don't know. That's what I'm worried about. That's the point. Did you bet it already? Mel, what do we got, Mel? Let me know if you bet it already. I'm going to type it in, too, in a second. Hey, give it a share, Sebastian. Hit subscribe, share it with a couple friends. Tell them to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to get to 1,000 this year. We're having fun on this channel. And Sunday mornings is the live streams. Every Sunday morning, I cover everything. Go on 10:30, finish at 12:30, because I need a little me time. You know, I got to check my own fantasy roster and shit. Last year, I'd go off for like 12:50. I'm fucking ruining. I'm missing guys starting. Fucking forgetting to put bets in. I'm giving everybody winners and shit. And I'm standing here with a guts at the end of the day. Oh man, what do we got, Mel? Barkley, 2 more TDs this week. Oh man, Carmelo, the only guy that called the 2 tutties last week. I listened to everybody except Carmelo. I mean, the what game was that? The Eagles. When did the Eagles play? Friday night. Mel called me Friday night and said, Barkley, 2 touchdowns, Nooch, 2. But Mel also had the #1 pick in his league. #1 pick. That's why I respect Mel. He's an independent thinker. He doesn't copy anybody. He picked Barkley at #1 in fantasy, and it looks pretty good, you know, to start the season. He looked good. What do you got? 3 touchdowns? Oh man. And you know what? I think Barkley's gonna keep producing all year. I'm excited to see that Monday Night Football game. Now, Survivor Pool, everybody's looking at Philadelphia to beat Atlanta, maybe. Survivor Pool, what do you got? Texans? Hey, you got to pick one team to stay alive. Here's my candidates. Texans over the Bears. I don't fucking like Caleb Williams. I don't like him in a sports way. I don't like him. He's throwing off balance, fucking moving. If you throw it 13 feet out of bounds, it's not like Mahomes. It looks like a guy off fucking balance to me. I don't know. You know, like I don't see it. I don't fucking see it. That what they were doing, like hyping them. I don't see it. I don't like them. So I would go probably Houston. They're gonna fucking tear them up with those receivers and C.J. Stroud. You know what? Everybody was calling for the demise of the Texans receivers, fantasy wise. They ate last week. Nico Collins, big game. Diggs, big game. Tank Dell, regular, but you know, Survivor. What do you got? What do you got, Poker? Baltimore? Who's Baltimore? I can't see. There's like an icon. Who's Baltimore playing? I gotta look. Well, I love Baltimore because I'm a Lamar fan. Fucking, you know what? I gotta talk to you about Vegas. Yeah, I like Baltimore. I'm gonna tell you something I noticed. I'm gonna make an observation right now. When I saw Aaron Rodgers the other night throw a couple of those beautiful balls, I said, "Oh my God! Oh, I fucking forgot how good of what a thrower of the football he is. That's like touched by the hand of God touch. Like the way he hits guys moving and never fucking misses. Here's what I'm getting at. We just talked about Baltimore. I love Lamar Jackson. He's my favorite. I got a fucking Lamar jersey. I've been having him on my fantasy team. I love Lamar Jackson. I had him on my fantasy team last year. I called him to win the Super Bowl last year. I was wrong, but I always believe in him. The way I seen him play a little bit in the bad games, and when I saw him miss Zay Flowers the other last week by 10 feet, that worries me. Aaron Rodgers could never miss a guy like that by 10 feet in his life, ever. He couldn't throw the ball that bad on accident. How is Lamar missing these guys? Come on, Lamar. Lazard? Yeah. You know what? Lazard didn't play great last year, but it's easy to get caught up on a shit team. With Rodgers and the opportunities, and he's got to be ready. Aaron Rodgers is not going to accept anything less. So they keep getting to him. He's 6'5", he's fast. Lazard, he's probably on everybody's waiver wire. I would get him. I would grab him. For a 5th receiver, you always got a bullet in the chamber, so to speak. If you got Lazard on your bench, Even if your whole team is hurt, guys are on a bye, if you play him, you got hope for a ceiling, like what happened week 1. Could be. I agree with you guys on Lazard because of the opportunities he get. He's Rodgers' best friend. He's Rodgers' best friend on the team, too. That shit matters. That shit matters. Survivor. I got one for you guys. Now, I'm not in a Survivor League this year, but I would have not have went for the Bengals. Oh, guys, hit the like button. Hit the like, please. Hit the like. Give it a share. This way it goes to the algorithms, all that stuff. I would have not gone with the Bengals last week, so I'd be alive. But this week, does anyone? I would like to know this right now. I like to ask questions too because I want to know. This gives me a better understanding of how I'm going to pick. If I was in a Survivor pool and I'm not trying to take the team everybody else takes, I'm taking Seattle. New England's going to win again? What's Belichick and Brady there? What are the chances of New England winning again? What do you think? Oh, you picked up Lazard? Mel, you scumbag. You did that in our league right now? Oh, I'm not giving you information anymore, Mel. That's terrible. Oh, really? Why do you say that, Poker? Come on, man. I'm thinking, okay, Seattle. Lockett played good last week. Metcalf, beast. Kenneth Walker there. Geno's a veteran. I don't see New England winning again. I think that was an aberration. Cincinnati's all messed up. I don't think Seattle's going to go there messed up. I would maybe go with Seattle over New England. Maybe. That's not my final answer, though, boys. That's not my final answer. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button. It takes 1 second. Hit that like button. Give it a share. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Man. Oh, in your league? Oh, okay. So here's one thing I've noticed on the NFL board right away. Now Sunday, 10:30 to 12:30, when I do the live stream, I'm gonna have all my stuff in depth, all the stats that I looked up, all the things that I know about the game, fantasy and betting wise. But right now we're taking our first look. The first thing that jumped out at me on the board, the biggest underdog, the biggest money line underdog of the first couple games, Tampa Bay. Like, I've watched so much football in my life. Tampa Bay is at Detroit. We have so much respect for Detroit, NFC Championship. We know who Detroit is. They won in overtime against the Rams. They didn't fucking kill the Rams. They won in overtime. They're minus 340, 7.5 spread. I'm not saying I'm going to bet 70% of my pie on Tampa Bay, but I might throw a little chump change on Tampa Bay in a parlay, like, money line them with something else. Or it might be a good team to throw on the teaser. I'll tell you what, teasers, a 2-team teaser, 6 point. You put 6 points on Tampa Bay, 7.5. Okay, now I'll take 13.5 with Tampa Bay. That's going to be a fucking competitive game. That little bastard Baker is tough. I used to hate on him. He's tough. You got to respect a guy that plays football like that. Baker's going to be in that game. Mike Evans, all those guys. I don't see that game being a blowout. So in a teaser, the first thing I'm seeing is that plus 7.5 with Tampa Bay. I'll throw a 6 on that in one end of the teaser. Now, another one, I don't give a shit. Upsets, schmupsets. Minnesota's not beating San Francisco. So San Francisco's 5.5-point road favorite. Knock the 6 on that. I'm getting 0.5 point with the Niners. So I'm getting 0.5 with the Niners, and I'm taking 13.5 with Tampa Bay. That's my first teaser that's going on the paper. Niners, 2-team, 6-point teaser. Niners plus 0.5 point. Tampa Bay plus 13.5. 2-team, 6-point teaser. Now they also have 3-team, 10-point teasers for even money odds. You get plus 100. You got to get 3, but you put 10 points to the spread. I love those. I like teasers. Teasers are fun. I used to do those when I was young. Throw 10 points on Tampa Bay. Now you're getting 17.5. Who doesn't love that? Jets. You know what? Now, getting back to the Jets. You're right, Mel. I agree. The Jets, what I saw from Rodgers the other night, I'm going to tell you what I saw from Rodgers, Jets fans. He threw so many beautiful balls. He's got no problem. He's one of the best throwers of the football, hitting moving targets that I've ever seen in my life, and he still got that easily. So he's going to be fine throwing the ball. There's good and there's bad. This is the good. Continuing with the good, the way he throws the football, he's better now than Peyton Manning was his last year on Denver when they won the Super Bowl. I remember it. I watched the whole thing. He's definitely better than Manning when he had the weak fucking neck. Manning was throwing ducks and shit. But he was smart. He was smart. He knew the defenses. Rodgers, we know, has all that, but there's nothing wrong with his arm. However, okay, so he's better than Manning was in 2013 when they won. The thing I didn't like, he was running like he was on fucking eggshells. Like he was running a little gingerly when he was rolling. He looked like he was 41. I don't know if he's going to have that escapability. I don't know if Rodgers is going to be able to get away. His over-under for the game rushing was 2.5 yards. Guess who bet the over? Me, sucker boy. Lost. If Rodgers can't step up and run or escape a little bit, then he's not really the same Rodgers anymore. We got to look at him like Rodgers 2.0, different guy. But that's okay. He can still be good. The way I saw him throw, it's okay. He doesn't, just don't get hurt. That's really it, I think. The Jets will be in it this year. The Jets will be 10-7. The Jets will be 10-7. Easy. If Rodgers just stays upright. I saw enough out of that team. Guys, let me tell you something. San Francisco's offense, you know how many defenses they're going to make look bad? Every fucking one, guys. Let's wake up. Don't overreact on one game. That's why styles make fights. San Francisco's line offense, they won that fight. They're going to win a lot of fights this year. San Francisco's defense, they're going to make a lot of offenses hurry a little quick throws. How come so many short ones? Because we're trying to fucking keep this guy alive. There's 16 more games, fans. There's 16 more games. We're trying to keep this fucking guy alive. We're going to throw a couple quickies. We might lose tonight. All right? That's probably what they're thinking. The Jets are going to be fine. They're going to beat a lot of teams. I think they'll start this weekend. Oh, who's that? Thomas. What's up, buddy? Rodgers, 2 TDs passing. Yeah, Mel. Yeah. I like shit like that. I think they're going to go off. But Tennessee's a tough team. They're a sneaky tough team like that. What do we got, Thomas? How you doing, buddy? Hit that like for me. Let's get it going. I want to get to 1,000 this year. We're coming up on it. Fourth quarter, baby. Coleman. Oh, you were against Coleman and Hill last night. My Bills. Oh, what do we got? Walker doesn't play for Seattle. Oh, Kenneth Walker. Should I play Worthy, Cooper, or McConkey? Oh, man. You know what? I have Cooper in my flex. I'm a little worried about him, but I'm going with him because how could you just forget? How could you just go off a guy that had 18 yards a catch and 1,300 yards last year and fucking produced? Like, St. Brown had 1 catch last week. There was a fucking guy trying to trade him last week in my boys' league. Like, guys are jumping out of the fucking window. Like, Amari Cooper's a stud. So what I will say, Thomas, is Lad McConkey's coming. He's coming on. He's going to be a guy. Keep an eye on him. He's going to keep producing for the Chargers. Lad McConkey might end up being your all-the-time flex. You know what I'm saying? But Worthy, oh, man. Worthy seems like the highest ceiling, but he's not the number one. He had a big game. Don't get intoxicated by the fucking big game. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rice is the number one, and Kelsey's the fucking godfather. And Pacheco's the real MVP of the team that keeps the engine going. So Worthy is going to get shit when opportunity knocks. That's not always good for fantasy. So keep that in mind. I'd probably go with Cooper. Cooper should be back. If Deshaun Watson doesn't get the ball to Amari Cooper 9 times this week, he'll be fucking Jameis Winston will be the quarterback next in week 3. Trust me. Amari Cooper's the numero uno. And he had a monster year last year. Monster. He had the most yards per catch out of every receiver in the league who had over 75 balls, even more yards per catch than Tyreek Hill. 18 yards a catch last year, Cooper. So that's got to make you feel confident. I'm going back to him in my flex, so I'm not even like practicing what I don't preach. Like I'm going with Cooper. I have to. I'm not going to jump off the wagon. I got listen to my week. I had the worst week ever. I had St. Brown, nothing, one catch. Cooper, nothing. Marvin Harrison Jr., nothing. Oh, I got really nothing. So I'm staying firm, and I know I'm going to be fine this week. And I'm going to remember that on the betting board, guys. We're going to remember this on the betting board, guys. This is when you win bets. It's not who's smart, who's going to win. Remember the fucking trends. You know, there's a couple stars that did nothing last week. Okay. What do you think happens in real life? The coaches are sitting in the room, just like we're sitting, pen, paper. Listen, man, we got to get Olave touches early, guys. Hey, Gene, yeah, pass me a fucking donut. Yeah, we got to get Olave. We got to get Olave a quick screen or two, get him going. Let's get this kid going. He didn't do shit last week. We fell behind. Yeah, we got to get him going. Like, Olave, star, Ohio State receiver, stud. Great year last year. Carr, who they playing this week? The Cowboys. You better fucking be ready to throw and make yards and score because you ain't keeping up with Dallas if you don't. Saints, Cowboys. Give me Olave this week. Bounce back week. Give me Olave. Hit that like button. Give me Olave this week for a 50 burger, 50 yards. Little tutty, I think, maybe touchdown. Another guy, how do we all not – you got same game parlays. You add 3-4 pieces. You put it together. You wrap it in a fucking bow. You bet it. You go on to the next one. How do we not have St. Brown? St. Brown, one catch. The guy's the most fucking consistent player on earth the last 3 years. He had one catch last week. How do we not put him in for 70? 7 and 70. Like, St. Brown's a 11 for 100 guy. Like, I got to think that Goff is going to get back going with St. Brown. I got to believe that. Who's Detroit play? Oh, Detroit's playing Tampa Bay. That's going to be a fun game. A lot of scoring in that game. A lot of scoring. I think that's going to be a big offensive game. Oh, man. You know what? Here's the thing with Demarcus Robinson. I don't think he's labeled as the next highest guy, but he's not in real life going to be the guy that plays football and does anything. Like, he's not that good. The fucking guy that's going to play like in real life against the Cardinals this week, it's going to be Stafford, quarterback, Cup. Then you got the tight end, but it's fucking Tyler Johnson. That guy caught a 4-yard slant last week and fucking went 70. Like he made something out of nothing. The coach doesn't forget that shit. You got to think like a detective thinks like the criminal. We got to think like them. The coach, when they're watching the film, this fucking guy caught a 2-yard slant and went 70. I think his line was like 5 or 6 catches for like 79 yards. That's the guy. Tyler Johnson, Rams. Robinson's been playing for years. He never does shit. Robinson's been playing for forever. He never produces. Be careful with him. Be careful. Man. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Poker. Thank you, brother. We have on here. I do the live streams. I'm more organized on Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings, I have every game, NFL, spread, over-unders, everything. Fantasy, we do start sits, and we talk about everything as the morning unfolds. The weather report later in the year, but health scratches, guys that get scratched, this and that. But my friends, my lifelong friends come in, we talk, we have fun. But what do we got here? Oh, I missed the question. Jameis Williamson. Jameis Williams on Detroit. You know he's not. He had a good game last week. He did have a good game. You know what? It's about time for him to produce. He was a great player on Alabama a couple years ago. Jameis Williams was like so good. I think he was Jalen Hurts receiver. I think. And Tua. We got to check that out. I think it was Jameis Williams. He was good. Tyler Johnson on the Rams. Yes, that's the guy. Did you hear me just saying that? That's the guy. Tyler Johnson. I picked him up. That's what I was just saying. Like that's the part of fantasy football. Like somebody will come in that never plays, and he won't be afraid. Like I'll give you a hypothetical. I have Amari Cooper in my flex, and I just picked up Tyler Johnson on the Rams. I just told you how Tyler Johnson caught a 2-yard slant, went 70, how impressive he is. However, I don't have the cojones to start him. So I'm staying with Cooper because I've been playing fantasy for like 20 years. I don't want to jump off the guy who's a star, good player already, just because they had a slow week 1. So I gotta stay the course. So I'm staying the course, but somebody who comes in and be like, oh yeah, this guy did good. Stays with Tyler Johnson, he'll do good again. So I'm hoping that Cooper doesn't burn me. That's the moral of that statement. I need Amari Cooper to come back this week, boys. Please. Come on, Amari. Was he? I was wondering where he came from. I was impressed when I watched the game back with the quick plays where they cut it out. They just give you each play. You can watch the whole game in like 11 minutes. He was pretty impressive on some of his plays. Even the ones that didn't make the highlights, the real highlights, he made some nice catches, tough. He's thick too. He's like 200 plus pounds, I think, like 6'1". I give him about 220, 230. He looks thick to me. Let me see. He looks like he can make plays. Keep making plays. If you can make plays, little McVay, forward-thinking guy with what he does with offenses, you got to look at Rams differently. Rams could do things, I think. Let's see. I just want to check this guy's dimensions. Oh, I got him in the other league. The JFFL, I got him. Oh, all right. Tyler Johnson, 6'1", 210. All right, 26 years old. He was on the Bucks, huh? You never know when a guy's going to catch on or not catch on. You ever remember a guy like where everybody knows him? He's got a popular name, but then all of a sudden, a couple years later, like nobody can find him. Like, remember what happened to Scotty Miller? Remember the fast white kid on the Bucks that Brady would throw a bomb to every once in a while? Scotty Miller. He's like a young guy. Is he on anybody's roster? I wonder what happened to him. Like you get random guys in your mind. But I think Ladd McConkey is going to be a real guy. I forgot who owns him. I like Ladd McConkey. I knew him coming into camp in the summer. I've been on McConkey. Seven targets for Tyler. And he didn't even get in till Puka went down. That's when his game started. So that's like a little more than half a game, I think. I don't know exactly when Puka went down. Yeah. Yep. So for Tampa Bay, here's what I'm saying, guys, on the betting board. Here, I want to just bring this to everybody's attention. The fact that Tampa Bay is such a big money line underdog, I think that's not correct. Because Tampa Bay was the other playoff team last year. Nobody gives Tampa Bay credit. Like everybody else went to the playoffs, they got respect this year. Think about it. Philadelphia's got respect. Detroit, they respect it now. They're like OG's team. You know, everybody respects the Lions. The Niners, everybody respects them. And then all of a sudden, the Bucks were in the playoffs last year. They won their division. Nobody respects them. 7.5 point spread. I think that's at least teaser worthy, but I am going to take a little shot on that. I'm afraid of the Saints at Cowboys. That's a game where the Saints are going to be I could see Derek Carr rocking and rolling, Shaheed catching bombs. Like the NFL is weird. Nobody's that good right now. Nobody's that good. I'm afraid of these games. You think Dallas will roll over New Orleans? Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of the offenses are getting so fancy that I'm actually seeing it backwards. The intricate shit is already in. All the quick throws where there's two guys blocking on the outside of a screen and trips and like they make the receiver, they're running back in space. All that shit is in, and the downfield passing is not in. Now the Vikings beat the Giants and looked good. But does anybody think they could beat the Niners? If you're going Survivor, I wouldn't go Survivor. I wouldn't go on the road with anybody. Somebody's gonna lay a stinker. Who's gonna lay the stinker? That's the thing with the NFL. Every week last year, a game that made no sense cut my cojones off. I lost I lost so much. I could not avoid the mousetrap. Oh, um, guys, I'm dead set on I don't oh, I would be so shocked. I can't wait to see because we're already going back and forth. I can't wait to see if New England could ever go 2-0. I'm calling that one out. No way. No way. We got to remember. We got to remember this. I'm saying no way. Oh, Anthony Richardson. Oh man. Okay, let me see. Anthony Richardson is like Anthony Richardson reminds me of like LeBron James. Like he's better and more impressive than all the other good guys. Like out of all the good guys, he's better than all them. Like like LeBron James reminded me of like he looked different than everybody else. Anthony, let me tell you something about Anthony Richardson. He runs a 4.4. He's fast, but he threw that ball last week. He slipped. He threw it. I counted it. He threw that ball 66 yards in the air, not even really stepping into it. You know what, guys? That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life as far as a throw. That was number one. I've never seen that. I've seen a couple nice throws. You know, a lot of guys got strong arms, but that was some other shit. I don't think people are talking about that enough. It got glossed over. I saw that on like Instagram reels. That's that might be the most impressive throw that I've ever seen in my life. I saw Brett Favre when I was a kid. If any older sports fans are in here, Brett Favre in a playoff game against the Lions, he was rolling left, and the receiver was running a fly route all the way on the right side. The defensive back didn't think that Brett Favre could throw across the field a fucking bomb, so he was jogging, and Brett Favre threw a fucking bomb. That thing, I don't know how far it went in the air, but he threw it from the left side, rolling out all the way up the right sideline into the end zone. That was an impressive one that sticks in my mind. But I mean, some of Mahomes' throws, but I think the most impressive throw in game that I've ever seen in my life happened week one. Anthony Richardson. That was oh my god. That's fucking crazy, man. That's crazy. That was amazing. Guys, hit that like button for me. Hit that like button just so I get the algorithms in the right place. Uh, what do we got here? Yeah, he did. Whew. New England -3. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You got to be careful. Do you think New England is going to be okay or Seattle's bad? Like why do you like that one so much out of all the games? That's your favorite game or no? Poker. Jared, what's up, buddy? What are you doing? Oh, today. A lot of people dropping in. I like this. I like this. We're rolling this year already. The live Sunday mornings. Don't miss Sunday mornings, guys. I'm gonna always do a Friday. Get ready for the weekend, and Sunday rolling in the mornings. Hey, Richie from New York. We got to give him a news flash. He misses my show for 3 years. He comes in 12:45. Nooch, where are you? Rich. I go. I go on 10:30 every Sunday morning for 4 years. All the boys. I go off 12:30 because I need a little me time to make my own bets, my own roster. You're not going to find me at 1:45 next week, Rich. Come on, you're better than that. Let's go. Let's fucking go, Richie. Pep talk. Come on, Rich. Also, don't let me forget, why is Omalley fighting that little weeble wobble and the lines are even? I expected. I didn't look at the fight odds all week. That's why I had to talk about UFC, and it's a big one tomorrow. It's a pay-per-view, and I'm a combat sports fan. Boxing, UFC, both going tomorrow. Canelo's fighting Berlanga, but UFC, O'Malley's a 5'11", 6-footer. He's fighting a short guy with no attributes. I know the guy's good, but O'Malley's a sniper. I expected to see respect on the odds. I expected them to have Omalley about minus 240, minus 260. I didn't expect it to be minus 115, plus 100. I didn't expect that. I think that's a good value. We're all going to be probably rooting for Omalley. We're not betting heavy. I think we should put Omalley in the parlay. And guys, I don't know. I like a little action. That's why I went on today, Friday. I got a little something going with college. I happen to have boots on the ground in Las Vegas. That's all I'll say. I got boots on the ground in Las Vegas. I know about the UNLV football team. We're going to take that 9.5 tonight against Kansas. That's the college game on at 7 o'clock. Beautiful. I got boots on the ground. Perfect. So we like that 9.5 tonight. Also, one thing sticks in my mind. I was a Deion Sanders fan as a kid. Shit's going on now. I don't know what I think, but football-wise, the Colorado State game last year. Colorado, a good receiver that was tearing Colorado's ass up. I would say they should have beat them last year, but Colorado won lucky. But that was one of their few wins. But I like Colorado State. I like Colorado State with the points. I like them a lot tomorrow. That's a Saturday 7 o'clock game. If we go Omalley, Colorado State with the points. Now we got 2 legs in something. UNLV plus the 9.5. I'm doing by themselves because I got that as kind of like a tip. So I'm going, but I don't get huge. So even a tip, whatever I'm doing is for enjoyment. You never make bank or shit like that. You got to be responsible. Bucks played good, boy. I'll tell you what. How come Stephen A doesn't go on and fucking apologize to Baker Mayfield? Remember, I watched him slaughter that kid for being in a fucking Progressive commercial for like 2 straight years, being a real dick. And Baker's been tearing it up for 2 years. I don't hear him compliment them. Like, I watch all that shit, man. Like there's a lot of shit in society that rubs me a little bit off. Let's just be straightforward. How about we just tell the truth? Like, I watched the Tyreek Hill and the cop. I don't know. I was taught if a policeman bothers me or I'm in a pickle, don't fucking panic. Number one, don't resist. Don't be a smart ass. Do what you got to do to get the fuck out of there safe. That's where I was taught. The cop was out of line. We know that. Tyreek Hill, he made a mistake too. When you don't roll the window down and you tell them don't like when you start barking, you're giving that guy who's looking for a reason. It's common sense. So Tyreek Hill wasn't feeling the cop, and he couldn't. He didn't have the poise to handle that the way he should have. So he did what he did. I'm not one to say whether it's right or wrong. I'm not a judge. I don't judge people. But Tyreek Hill handled that less than ideal. And that cop took it way too far. So the moral of that story, when you're fucking adding fuel onto the fire, something bad could happen. Don't give something a chance. Don't put the match there. Tyreek Hill, don't hit my window, gang. Like that. That was what he said. I watched the video. Quote, don't hit my window, gang. Don't hit my window, gang. Like is that the best way to address the cop? Come on. I had a couple police officers when I was young, fucking so upset with me, chuck me around. You know what I did? Just let it go, go into the wall. They were even more mad, but they didn't do anything because I wasn't resisting. I didn't panic. And I even told him, hey, I'm not resisting, as he threw me into the wall. And you know what? It worked. He fucking left me alone. Common sense gets you further. The name of the game is survival. I wish I could talk to all these kids. Where's their fucking mentors? Where's the mentors? If I see one more kid panic when a police officer grabs him and he gets himself killed, then there's riots and fucking people arguing. Why are these kids panicking? That's the worst thing to do. Oh, makes me, it's upsetting. It's upsetting. Well, what are you going to do? Here we go. Back to the games. Tampa, yeah, they made the playoffs last year. Now, here also, fantasy-wise, ready for this? As far as same-game parlays, how could we not Olave, star receiver? I can't see Olave not getting 50 yards worth of balls against the Dallas Cowboys offense that's scoring the other side. The Saints, Olave caught 1 or 2 balls last week. He's a stud. I don't see Olave not catching 5 and 50 minimum floor. That's one game real quick. St. Brown, I don't see how he cannot have a high volume game. High volume. Now Cleveland's playing Jacksonville. Dallas should whoop them. They should whoop them. Now Cleveland looked terrible. But Cleveland had one of the best ranked defenses in the NFL last year. Cleveland went to the playoffs with Joe Flacco last year. They got to do better with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson he settled 23 cases outside of court for harassing women. And there's another one on the way. This fucking guy is like Bill Cosby, allegedly. I don't know if he should be playing. 23 settlements. That's a lot, man. Shit. I think Jameis he's a vet now. He's been around a long time. I'll tell you what, another game for Survivor Pool. Carolina, Chargers. Now, you never know. Chargers aren't the strongest team. They could have a weak game. But I like the Ravens running backs over there. I like Dobbins over at the Chargers. J.K. Dobbins had a big game, huh, guys? I'm interested to see how that team develops. Who I do feel bad for, that poor kid, the number 1 quarterback, the pick for Carolina. I feel bad for him. He's got the fucking yips, that kid. He's got the yips. He's missing receivers by 30 feet. And his nickname in college was Seth Curry. That's accuracy. Like, he was known for his accuracy. The fact that he's missing receivers, he's rushing throws because he's feeling the heat because the fucking line's not blocking. Listen, I played quarterback when I was in high school and all that shit. And when I was coming up, I was like a sophomore. And before I got to my junior, senior, I was varsity. But my sophomore year, I had to play on the fucking sophomore team. Yo, when you have a shitty line, it's hard. It was harder playing on the sophomore team than my 2 years on varsity. Varsity was a fucking breeze. I had a nice line, powerhouse team. Fucking sophomore team, it was all the guys that didn't want to be there because the good sophomores were on fucking varsity. Oh shit! Like Carolina, Bryce Young, he's playing very sped up. I don't see him calming down anytime soon. I think the Chargers should coast. Quick look, Raiders. Are the Raiders beating Baltimore? I think not. I'm looking for Lamar to have a big game with no screw ups. I love Lamar. Hey, Lamar, no more mishaps. The playoffs last year, the missing Flowers by 30 feet last week. That shit, I don't know. Come on, Lamar. Like, last year he was the MVP, but I don't know if that was really an MVP season. I don't know. But I love him, so I'm not going to hate. Seahawks, Pats, we talked about that. Colts. Now, here's a sucker game. Jordan Love out. Malik Willis, quarterback for Green Bay. Anthony Richardson going into Green Bay. We all like the Colts, right? But I'd stay away from that game. Yeah. Like Lamar, if he doesn't start, he's got to produce now. It's time for Lamar. He's got the team around him. He's got to do it. Because the things that I remember in my fuck-ups, excuse my language, like last year, like some shit with Flowers, like missed them again. Like there's all shit with Flowers all the time. I wonder how Mark Andrews is. I hope he's getting better from that car accident. Jets are 3.5-point favorite at Tennessee. I like the Jets in real life, but I don't know if I'm betting that game. You never know. The Jets are the Jets. They better win. Aaron Rodgers told everybody to relax already. I love it. I love it. Rodgers, he can't run anymore. The Nooch noticed that. I'm 3 years older than Rodgers. I was watching him. I said, "Oh, he's looking like the Nooch. He's looking like the Nooch rolling out." Like, a little different at 41. Little 41, 34, night and day. Night and day. When I was 34, I felt like a Ferrari. When I was 41, quicksand. Quicksand. You change a lot. I don't know. I don't know what that sports science is doing for him. I don't know. So I reserve a little optimism. Giants. Oh man, the Giants. You know what? They let the wind out of my sails already. We traded Saquon Barkley. I got my hopes up. I conned myself and gave myself all these reasons to bet them against Minnesota. Lost like 20% of my pie fucking around with them last week. Oh God. Oh, Giant. Jesus. Fucking Daniel Jones. I got agita just thinking about him. I'm going to get off soon because I got to eat dinner. Jesus. Oh, Giant. I'm not touching that game. Giants, Redskins, Rams, Cardinals. The Cardinals look like shit. Kyle Murray, under 2 yards per air completion last week. He's got to get something downfield. I think the Rams on the road, but that's a divisional game. Bengals look like shit. You want a survivor team? The Chiefs. Yeah, the Washington running back. Eckler's going to keep catching balls. He's going to keep catching balls. They need him to because people get hypnotized and just think fantasy-wise, but, like, there's a need for Eckler on that team in real life. They can't just go to Brian Robinson. So Eckler's going to have bigger games. Like, he had a couple catches last week, but I think they're going to have to use both guys. Steelers, Denver. Russ can't even get back on the field to play the Broncos. Let's ride. Russ, you're not even riding on the other team, Russ. Oh my goodness. Fields is about to take over that job. I don't know. That's going to be a good game. Whoever gets that win, it's a big win. The Steelers are 1-0. So if Denver wins, they just beat the 1-0 Steelers. Bo Nick, Sean Payton, first win of the season. If the Steelers win, they're 2-0 with Fields. Now, Russ, call it a career, Russ. You're not coming back. If the Steelers start 2-0 with Fields, sayonara, Russ. Sayonara. Bears, I hate that team in sports. I don't want to get thrown off YouTube with any buzzwords. I hate them in sports in like a fun way. I don't like Caleb Williams at all. I think C.J. Stroud. Let me tell you something. I told you. They called the demise of the Texans receivers. Nico Collins, monster game. Diggs looks great. The honeymoon stage. It's the honeymoon stage. Diggs isn't disgruntled yet. It's still the honeymoon. So the Texans are good. And Atlanta, if Kirk Cousins looks any more fucking discombobulated, he's going to be out soon. So I'm expecting Philly to roll Monday night. But boys, yo, I'm gonna always be dropping a couple videos here and there. A lot of shorts all the time. A live 2 to 3 times a week. Sunday morning staple, and usually a Fridayer. And then sometimes I'll do a Monday afternoon live if I get in the house and we want to do a recap. But we're always gonna do before the games and then the games. So I'll be in Sunday morning, 10:30 to 12:30. Hit the like, give it a share. I'll see you guys soon.